All right, let's get cooking. Welcome to the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. I'm your host, JD. I want to thank you all for taking the time out to join us. And as always, we welcome any suggestions, feedback, comments, and criticisms, which improves the quality of our program, which ultimately improves your listening experience. Before we get started, I want to tell all of you thank you for your tremendous support. People are slowly but surely finding out about who we are and what we do. They enjoy and respect the passion with which we speak. But as we always say here at Chin Check Sports Radio, we do this because we love it, as I simply sharing our passion with you all as we continue to build our listening army to take over the world. You know that we are your go-to on YouTube for Dallas Cowboys coverage throughout the NFL season, as well as any and all Dallas Cowboys coverage throughout the year. And your 2025 Dallas Cowboys with a Week 10 victory on the road against the Las Vegas Raiders. But before we begin the broadcast, definitely want to say rest in peace again to the late Marshawn Kneeland. We did our last broadcast discussing his untimely passing, and clearly the players were playing with heavy hearts. Definitely much kudos and applause to the NFL for taking a moment of silence. Definitely Oakland Raiders, as well as join the Cowboys to definitely bring awareness of suicide prevention and the t-shirts that the Raiders wore, and the Dallas Cowboys wearing their commemorative t-shirts for Marshawn Kneeland. And we're definitely looking on the Cowboys website for that particular shirt. If it's something that, if all proceeds go to charity or any kind of suicide prevention, we definitely would love to be involved in that and definitely like to purchase that shirt for ourselves. But the Dallas Cowboys did what he had to do, winning 33-16 with the new additions. Of course, since the bye week and the trades and in between tragedies, the Dallas Cowboys acquired former All-Pro, former Alabama first-round pick, defensive tackle, big Quentin Williams. But let's jump right into our numbers here. Quarterback Dak Prescott, 25 of 33 attempts for 268 yards and 4 touchdowns. Javonte Williams, 22 carries for 93 yards. George Dan Pickens, 9 catches for 144 yards and 1 touchdown. C.D. Lamb, 5 catches for 66 yards. Tight end Jake Ferguson, 4 catches for 16 yards and 1 touchdown. And Ryan Flournoy, our number 3 receiver, 1 catch, 2 yards, and 1 touchdown. On the defensive side, Deron Bland, 10 total tackles, 6 solo. Shamar James, 7 total tackles, 3 solo. Maris Leofaus, 7 total tackles, 2 solo. Donovan Eziraku, 5 total tackles, 3 solo, 2 tackles for a loss. Our newest addition, Quentin Williams, 4 total tackles, 1 solo, 1.5 sack, 1 tackle for a loss. Boy, isn't that more production than Mozzie? Malik Hooker, 3 total tackles, 3 solo. Donovan Wilson, 3 total tackles, 2 solo. Reddy Stewart, 3 total tackles, 2 solo. Elijah Clark, 3 total tackles. Newly acquired linebacker Logan Wilson, 2 total tackles, 2 solo. Kalen Carson, 2 total tackles, 2 solo. Where the hell has he been? James Houston, 2 total tackles, 1 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss. Kenny Clark, 2 total tackles, 1 solo, half a sack, 1 tackle for a loss. Kenneth Murray Jr., 1 total tackle, 1 solo. Osa Odigozua, 1 total tackle, 1 solo, 1 sack, and 1 tackle for a loss. And we have been critical of his play this year. Jadeveon Clowney, 1 total tackle, 1 solo. We will say this about Clowney. He's actually been a decent player for the Cowboys this year. We have been critical of him in the past, but he definitely has been a solid player for the Cowboys. C.J. Goodwin, 1 total tackle, 1 solo. The returning Demarion Overshown, 1 total tackle, 1 solo, and 1 tackle for a loss. Sam Williams, 1 total tackle, 1 solo. Shavon Rebel Jr., the big rookie who played his first game in over a year. The Cowboys drafted him coming off a torn ACL, so they actually predict some big things for him. But of course, this is rookie season, hasn't played football in a year, so just kind of see. He's going to probably take him another year or two before we really see the development. And Marquise Bell, 1 total tackle and 1 interception. Well, you know here that we don't gloss over wins, nor do we overreact to losses. So the Dallas Cowboys did what they were supposed to do. They beat the Oakland Raiders to keep themselves in something of playoff contention. Now, with all these defensive additions, there is hope that the Cowboys can maybe string together some wins and reel off, a late season push to reach the playoffs. A lot of people are going back to the 2018 season when the Cowboys were struggling. They did not have a true number one receiver after releasing Dez Bryant in April of that year. So the Cowboys decided to do a wide receiver by committee kind of thing, and it blew up in their face. So the Cowboys decided to trade for the recently retired Amari Cooper, who paid immediate dividends. Cowboys won 7 out of the last 8 games to actually make the playoffs, won a playoff game. So the Cowboys and their fans are hoping that the same thing comes up. We are not ready to start booking playoff tickets just yet because you beat the Oakland Raiders. You did what you were supposed to do. But the real test comes this week against the Super Bowl defending champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, and their dominating performance against the Detroit Lions. And again, this game is going to be in Dallas. Yes, the Cowboys did play the Eagles tough in week 1. Definitely a competitive game. So, of course, you can say when it comes to division opponents, you can throw records out. But the Eagles are the Eagles. They've beaten all the top teams, really set the Broncos. So the Eagles have played well this year. And they pretty much dominated everybody. Even if Broncos lost, was definitely a competitive game. But definitely on paper, the Cowboys will have to go into this game as an underdog. And then after that, on a short week, Thanksgiving, and we'll be home in New Jersey. They're playing the Patrick Mahomes-led Kansas City Chiefs, who at that point will be fighting for their playoff lives as well. So this new defense, defensive surge, they'll only really show me something in the next 2 weeks. And after that, they play the Chargers and the Lions. So the Cowboys definitely can run the table, but it's not going to be easy. And if they can make it through the next few weeks and get above 500, then maybe we can start looking at things differently about this season. But we truly believe that a lot of the moves made this season will hopefully pay some dividends next year. But anything can happen, and that's why they play the game. Definitely, folks, the Cowboys, George Pickens definitely did his thing. I mean, this kid is he's unguardable. But we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about some foolishness. We was watching the beginning of the game, and we noticed that on the opening series, and it really didn't drop home the point until third down. When the Cowboys ran for it on third down, they said, well, George Pickens nor CeeDee Lamb was in the game. Then we really started taking note, they're not in the game. So they were effectively benched for the first series. A close friend of ours on the show, BJ, was going a little bro, called me and said, hey, big bro, it could have been something. They went to Vegas. They could have been seen playing late at the slot machine, in the gambling house, shooting dice, doing whatever it is that folks do in Vegas. The proverbial what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So we definitely had a good laugh about that. Then it started to leak that they did violate curfew. Now, both of y'all, CD and George Pickens, the both of y'all was looking like a broke-ass Michael and JJ from Good Times just stand over there next to each other on the damn sideline. And both of y'all broke curfew. Both starting receivers. So it's things like that, man. CD, we had issues with some of his maturity. George Pickens, we know his history. He, got out of Pittsburgh. He's thriving well in Dallas. But come on, man. You want $30-something million, $40-something million. You don't have time for you missing curfew in Vegas and stuff like that. That stuff, it just shouldn't be happening. The both of y'all was out hanging out. Not one, both of y'all. So come on, guys. We definitely got to do better. Dak Prescott had a horrible strip sack fumble. We thought Dak, kind of looking at his protection. Yes, they had Max Crosby, but definitely, Dak, do a better job of holding the football. But those things can't happen against the Philadelphia Eagles. Also, there was a fourth down play where the Cowboys were going for a late touchdown. And I'm talking about CeeDee Lamb was as wide open could be. And I don't know if it was a bad pass by Dak, but a drop ball. But clearly those two couldn't connect. And on a play like that, quote, elite level quarterback play, elite receiver play, is supposed to make that throw against the Eagles. Now, again, by this point, the game was so far ahead, but it could have been a situation. What if that game could have maybe tied the game, or won the game for them? So you kind of have to connect on those type of plays. Even though we read the running back numbers, but we kind of felt the offensive line kind of got hemmed up a little bit in terms of the run protection. Javonte Williams getting smacked up in the backfield. Yes, his numbers, again, for 22 carries, for 93 yards, 4.2 yards per carry, but just in a longer 16. So definitely what we saw the offensive line, kind of got, the lunch eaten just a little bit. I'm not talking about they were totally dominated like they were at Arizona, or against Arizona, but, we don't feel there was enough push with the offensive line in terms of the running game. But the Cowboys did definitely what they had to do. They won the game. They dropped the Raiders to 2-8. And again, show me what you do against Philadelphia. Show me what you do against Kansas City. Then we'll look towards this season about making a playoff push. But definitely you see Big Quentin Williams is paying dividends already. But again, against the Raiders offensive line, it was So definitely the Eagles have a much better offensive line. I mean, everything about the Eagles is better from top to bottom. So that's definitely a good litmus test to see the improvements that the Cowboys made. And then to take those improvements and go on a short week and to play against the Kansas City Chiefs, once again, who will be fighting for their playoff lives. So the Cowboys definitely did what he had to do. Thank you for joining us on this episode. And until the next time, it's Chin Check Radio, signing out.